The New York Rangers, really, yeah, you know that they're good. You know that there was a little bit of drama, but not that much drama this offseason. A little bit of drama with Jake Trouba. You know that they got a defenseman that can probably win you the Norris Trophy. Mm-hmm. You know that they've got a goalie that can probably win you the Vezina Trophy. You've got a winger that has an outside shot at an Art Ross Trophy.
Maybe even Hart.
Maybe even a Hart Trophy. Mm-hmm. The New York Rangers are a spectacular hockey team. Can anyone unseat them, though?
The Zibanejad, outside shot at a rocket or scoring like 25.
Yeah.
Like just funny. What a weird player.
Chris Kreider, too?
Yeah,
is it 25 or is it 20?
Yeah. Don't know.
So I want to start with Jesse on this one because the Rangers are a Jesse Blake specialty. Jesse, where would you want to go first? When you talk about the Rangers, what do you want to hit on?
I can get into like a little bit of the details of the lineup and everything, but the big addition is Riley Smith, and it feels like for a couple, like, no, I'm saying like we can go deeper than that, but we can start with Riley Smith and we can go deeper. Sorry, I didn't really phrase that right, but like that's the big addition, and it feels like for years they've been trying to figure out that right side. That's been where they've been tinkering the most, and I hate in the playoffs where you don't have an established lineup and you can't just run out every night. We know our forwards, and that's what we're working with, whether it sinks or fails. And they never have been able to do that in the playoffs, and it seems like now they're going to have a solid forward group, and I love the addition. I think it's what they needed. And then on the back end, if you want to talk about the top line of everything, it's the Trouba situation, and he's coming back, and hopefully they're playing him now lower in the lineup because he's not the player he used to be, and now his minutes are reduced.
Jesse, you're burying the lead here. You're forgetting the elite player that the Rangers added mid-season last year, which is Alexis Lafreniere, but good.
Yeah.
He
wow.
Man, like
Coming
what
out
a
party.
monster in the playoffs. Like we just kept waiting, and I kept saying I think he's going to break out, and it kept not happening. It started to feel stupid. I mean, he might have been their best player by the end of the playoffs. So he was so good, so good, and helps out that right side.
Yes.
It's an interesting mix of veteran and young too, right? They always sort of have been. When you look at even Shesterkin and Jonathan Quick, and Jonathan Quick is still their backup. Still their backup. Great year last year.
Yeah, last season Jonathan Quick started the season 9-1-1, and then he ended the season 9-2.
Is that good?
So I don't expect that to be repeatable. So you can bank in a few less points in terms of the actual overall total, unless they make it up in the Shesterkin games. But he was unreal. He was prime Jonathan Quick for very large stretches of the regular season.
I think the thing that stands out to me, and this is sort of a really difficult thing to check in on, but health is going to be a factor for these guys.
Massive.
There are players that are a little bit older on this team. Father's Time is undefeated. But one guy I think that really hurt them, and how could it not, is Philip Hedl.
100%.
When he went down, he only played 10 games. Like, that's a real... That's your addition. That's your big addition this offseason.
I couldn't believe he played in the playoffs.
Exactly,
at
yeah.
all. No, having him is going to be an enormous X factor. Having Trouba not playing injured, I think, is going to be an enormous X factor. Braden Schneider getting a year older, I think, is going to be huge for them. A guy who, like, okay, Lafreniere did it. It would be killer for the Rangers, and like almost a guarantee they contend to repeat the President's Trophy if Kaapo Kakko shows up.
Yes.
And like last year, I liked him. I'm like, oh, there's that little spark plug, and like he was like a fun third liner. You're a second overall pick.
Yeah.
Like,
you can't be that.
how about we sniff 30 goals? Can we get that? Second overall pick, can we get 30 goals? How about like 60 points? How about 70 points? How about, no? 30? Okay. Well, like if he has the type of breakout, if he has 75% of the breakout that Lafreniere had, the Rangers are laughing.
Yeah, and he's a part of that right side that I was talking about. Now you can have Riley Smith up there, then laugh, or whatever you want to do, laugh on the first, with Riley Smith on the second, and then Kakko could just take this role on the third line and hopefully develop into this really good player that we all expect him to.
I think it is put up or shut up for him. When you look at some of the younger guys that need to take a step forward beyond him, K'Andre Miller had a good year last year. Playoffs, he got exposed a little bit towards the end. And that's okay. That happens. Like when you're, what is he, 22, 23 years old?
He's young. It was also his second trip to the conference final,
which is crazy.
He's played a lot of hockey.
DeAndre is 24.
What do we expect with a guy like him? Because that is a player that I expect to step into the top role with Adam Fox eventually.
Oh man, there's so much. There's only one puck.
Yeah,
so, like Lindgren's no slouch.
No, he's great.
That's a really good player. And then you got Fox, so you got to overtake Lindgren.
So you wonder if they put Schneider with Keandre Miller too, so he doesn't have to be as mobile.
Right.
Yeah. So this is the thing. And then who's left?
It would be Trouba. Right now, it's at least Daily Faceoff has Zach Jones and Jake Trouba.
Right. So yeah, you could have that. What a great problem to have. With
what are we going to do with all these righties on defense?
So many of these season previews involve, all right, there's a gap here. Someone's got to step up. And we're looking at the Rangers and we're like, it's awful crowded at the top. How do we get Keandre Miller a little bit more primetime? That's a great problem to have. I think that sort of thing just happens naturally. Someone gets hurt. Mm-hmm. Someone goes in a slump. And all of a sudden you throw Keandre in there and he can fill in great.
Is this a year, guys, where Adam Fox can win another Norris Trophy?
Every year is a year that Adam Fox can win a Norris
I'm sure he's got to be kind of tired. We almost ignore him because Cale Makar is that good.
I don't think Adam Fox has to be otherworldly in this decor. I think because you have Lindgren and Schneider and Keandre Miller, that the burden isn't on Adam Fox to carry this team like it is on Cale Makar at some points in Colorado, where he's just doing so, and he's also just so.
Cale Makar had 90 points,
right? Like he's doing other things that Adam Fox isn't really tasked with, or definitely he doesn't need to do. So I don't know if it's Norris year for Fox, but I feel like he's gonna be good.
You know how I know Igor Shesterkin is a top 3 goalie in this league? We haven't mentioned him.
No.
Free space.
Yeah. I guess the only question I would have is, what do you pay him at the end of this year when his contract's up? But that's not a season preview question.
That is okay.
That's so many games from now.
Take your number, and if they win the cup, add $5 million.
It's going to be a big number.
Yeah, the only thing I'm really concerned about with this group is that it could be a sort of last dance because of how many of the middle tier / young guys need contracts.
Right.
You have a lot of RFAs coming off the book, or they're going to be due at the end of this season. You got to pay a bunch of people. What do you do at the top end of the lineup at that point? Do you have to move out some of the vets to pay some of these young guys? So I don't know if everybody's in the locker room is looking at it as we might not have Lindgren next year. We better go out and do something, because it could truly be that at this point.
So that's the depressing thing that Rangers fans have to trick themselves into ignoring, and I have just the medicine. A full season of Matt Rempe. Something you did not have last year. You get a full season of the Empire State Building.
Did you guys see the autograph session that he did in New York? And the lineup was around the block.
Yeah, dude. Every time he didn't have to touch the puck. He got on the ice and he'd get he's out there. Ah! How do you go to the bathroom at Madison Square Garden? Because he might be out there. And I thought,
he's only out there 5 minutes a night, but you might miss that 5 minutes.
So he doesn't want to be that, though. Remember,
no, he doesn't.
At locker cleanup, he wants to be a 12-ish minute a night guy and someone who can be relied on defensively and maybe even penalty killing, which is what someone in the bottom 6 kind of needs to be. It's all well and good that he's like, I'm going to fight my way into the lineup and I'm going to be an enforcer. Boy, does that have a short shelf life. You can't be that forever. And also, how many of those are there really?
Yeah.
How many guys are in this league and you're like, they can barely play a shift, but they'll beat the shit out of you?
Laviolette needs guys that are valuable, that can do stuff.
Yes, and he knows that, and he's out in front of it, and he's 21. Was 21 when he was playing. He's 22 now. He's got so much career ahead of him too. I think last year might have been Rempe doing what he needed to do to stay in the league. And now it's the next step. I need to be a reliable bottom sixer.
He's on the radar.
Yeah,
Rempe-
not a sideshow.
Rempe, amongst the long list of names who need a deal at the end of the season, he's an RFA expiry along with Cooley, Edstrom, Kako, Lafreniere, and Keandre Miller.
Jesse,
Oh, laugh is gonna hurt.
we know you have a
lot.
Miller's gonna hurt.
That's a lot of money that they don't have.
Jesse. When you have a Panarin jersey,
I do.
if you were going to get another Ranger jersey, who would it be?
Keandre Miller.
Keandre Miller.
Yeah.
You're going to get a third Ranger jersey.
Third one?
Quick.
Rempe be too easy. I'd probably do DJ Z-Bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it.
No, Laugh.
Laugh. Okay.
It'd be Keandre then Laugh. Then
No!
Z-Bad. That'd be less. Also, Shesterkin needs a contract.
Yes, he does. Now, the Rangers had 114 points last year. They really feasted on this division along with the Carolina Hurricanes. It's hard to see how they're not just as good, but what's interesting is that the division is better, and the BetMGM odds for the New York Rangers is 100.5 points. Over, under.
What?
And they're even, by the way. It's a 1.87 either way, whatever you pick.
Are you reading that correctly?
I am reading it correctly.
Like 100.5.
100.5.
Wow.
Jesse's gonna check it. I know he is.
Yeah, no, I want to go check. I want to see the other teams.
I take the over and I smash it like I'm in the Hulkbuster Iron Man suit.
Right.
Holy shit.
Almost a guarantee, right?
100.
Almost.
So it's funny.
Barring some crazy string of injuries.
You said 114. I'm like, I still think they're going to be really, really good, but I don't know about 114. It's such a good division. You think they're going to go down 14 points? 7 wins? You think they're going to lose 7 wins?
I don't. Those
Oh.
are BetMGM's odds.
Over.
Jesse?
Over and first.
Oh, you have them first. I'm going to take over and second.
Wow.
I'm fascinated by who you have
I think it's got to be
first
Jersey.
because I think,
be
I don't think it's
Leafs.
got to be Jersey, but it
The
might
Leafs.
The Leafs.
They moved divisions mid-season.
Sorry, New York.
Yeah.
It's ours now.
Toronto over everything.
Yeah.
Adam, where do you have the Rangers?
I have the Rangers in first place and slam the over. The Rangers are the best team in the Metropolitan until the Devils come for them.